Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today we are talking about Quest's update on UberEats. Uber just changed how Quest work, and at first glance it looks like you could earn more, but there's a catch that nobody is talking about. This seems like it can be beneficial for some people, but honestly, I doubt I would ever pursue it myself. So in this video, we are talking about everything you must know about the new Quest on UberEats, how it actually is for drivers on the platform, and everything in between. But before we do that, let's go over a quick disclaimer. The content of this video does not contain and is never intended to be legal, business, financial, tax, or health advice of any kind. This video is for entertainment, educational, and informational purposes only. It is advised that you conduct your own research and consult with qualified professionals before applying anything you find online. I also want to be clear that everything that we're going to be going over is very market to market and case by case. What applies to me in my market may not apply to you. So with that said, let's get started. We're launching a new way to earn more with quests. Now you can earn extra by completing trips and staying under a maximum number of rejects. Here's how it works. Choose your quests. Each week, you can select a weekday or weekend quest that fits your schedule. There are multiple versions to choose from, so scroll down to see all. So they seem to break this down based on how many trips you can complete, or you think you can complete more appropriately. You could go as little as 10 or as much as 100. Those metrics may be different in different markets, so keep that in mind. But either way, they alluded to this already. The real change is this. Complete trips and keep your rejects low. Complete your trip and stay under the reject limit to unlock your quest reward. You must be in the city of your quest to begin. Cancellations count as rejects. Yeah, that seems to be the main goal of all this, is to get acceptance rates higher, but honestly, I'm not seeing the value in that personally, which is why I will be staying away. I have no intention of accepting unprofitable orders for the sake of a quest. And while we're on the subject, I'm not going to wait over an hour for an order that should have taken a few minutes, and instead of workers doing their jobs, they decided to put your order on such a back burner. And even if the drive-thru is completely empty, no one is actually working. It is irresponsible to allow restaurants to treat you poorly for the sake of a quest. These bonuses should be treated as icing on the cake and not the cake itself. I've made many videos talking about how more orders isn't the same as good orders. Track your progress. Visit the quest screen in the app anytime to see trips completed and how many rejects you have left. Tracker is pretty straightforward. They go over each metric and which markets this quest applies to, so make sure you read that over. Get paid. You'll earn your quest payout when you complete the required trips and stay under the reject limit. If either requirement isn't met, you won't receive the payout. Open the app to see available quests and choose one that works best for you. Again, you do have a lot to choose from, but keep in mind a lot of these platforms seem to have a throttling function where they will not send you more orders as you approach the finish line, and then suddenly after the time is up or after you are no longer able to complete the quest realistically, they will rush a bunch of orders to you. Imagine doing everything you can, putting in the extra hours to get it done within a certain time frame set by this company, and even taking some poor ones because the payout is huge at the end and it seems to be worth it, and then get stuck with one left to go and then crickets. You get no other orders until the time is up. A lot of companies do this with their challenges, quests, and guaranteed earnings programs, so this isn't new. What this really changes, Uber, along with many other companies, have been implementing ways to incentivize people to accepting more orders and not necessarily good orders. Before this update, you could cherry pick freely without worrying about a reject ceiling attached to a payout. Now, every decline isn't just a decline, it's a step closer to losing a lump sum bonus. That matters psychologically. The closer you get to completing the quest, the more emotionally invested you become, and that's where the trap can happen. Because now you're not evaluating an order based on dollars per mile, time per order, wear and tear, or opportunity cost. You're evaluating it based on, will this keep me under the reject limit? And that's a completely different decision-making framework. Once your decision-making shifts from profit per order to goal completion, you're playing at their game, not yours. Before deciding on whether or not you want to pursue these opportunities, you need to ask yourself this: are you willing to trade flexibility for structure, selective acceptance for consistency, autonomy for conditional reward. If that trade-off works for you in your market, great. Maybe you're actually closer to that W2 mindset than you gave yourself credit for. But if you find yourself taking more orders than you would normally decline just to protect a quest payout, that's when you need to step back and really think about what you're doing. Remember, bonuses should be icing on the cake, not the cake itself. When would this actually make sense? Now, to be fair, this isn't automatically bad. It could make sense if you're in a wildly high volume market, if you're already accepting most orders already, or if you're stacking on top of a profitable base strategy, or you're running a flat rate system where your margins are predictable. If you were already taking 80, 90, 100% of orders and this just adds more money on top, that's bonus money, man. The problem is when the quest changes how you evaluate orders. Moving out of your market. They touched on this already, and there is one other point I wanted to talk about. It's kind of niche, but this is something that needs to be said. I have been working all week, and because my phone number originates in New York and my account started in New York and now I am living in Florida, my orders don't even apply to this quest at all, accepted or declined. So keep in mind, if you decide to move someplace, the way your market is now is not the same way your market would be when you move elsewhere. Final thoughts. Look, I'm not telling you not to go for these quests. If you think they would be valuable to you or it might be worth it, if you are partial to their flat rate system because they just don't punish you for that, fine. Personally, I don't think it's worth the additional expenses, but that's just my personal view. Your views may be different. This is also not the first time I've made a video about quests either, so feel free to check out the other video I've made on this, because what has been said in that video may have also been said in here. In any case, the real money isn't chasing bonuses, it's in controlling your strategy. That means having a diversified gig portfolio of gig apps in your market. Are you on other delivery apps? Are you on catering platforms? Are you trying your hand at last mile delivery platforms? This also means developing an exit strategy. Remember, the gig economy is an income bridge to what would be a long-term goal, not necessarily the goal. Are you investing your money into a business? Whether that means starting from the ground up or buying some kind of franchise. Are you learning new skills to make more money per unit or offer? Mobile notary public, courier work outside of gig apps, digital marketing, or digital asset development. How about income producing assets? Stocks, ETFs, crypto, real estate. Completely up to you. But remember, in order to get out of the rat race, you need to find a way to make money independently out of your activity. All in all, don't depend on these companies to look out for your financial interests, because no one is going to look out for you better than you are. Guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe. Check out my website, drivenwyld.com, if you would like to learn more about some of the services and gig platforms we have talked about in the past and are offering to gig workers today. And if you want to stay on the cutting edge of what's happening in the gig economy today and be in the know what most people are talking about, make sure to check out our new channel, the Gone Wild Live Clips and Podcasts, where we take the live streams we hold on Thursdays at 9 p.m., cut them down to more digestible clips, and have them posted here. Also, check out my Patreon for more exclusive clips, full-length live stream replays, and other membership perks for self-employed individuals who want to grow and scale their business. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching.